Morning, Cyprus. So, our guided reading, looking at another biography today. We're going to look closely at a lady called Rachel Carson. Okay, here she is. She's a marine biologist and an author. Okay, so she taught the world about the ocean's ecosystems. She inspired the US Environmental Protection Agency. She wrote award-winning books: The Sea Around Us, The Edge of the Sea, Under the Sea, Under the Sea Wind, and Silent Spring. And here's a little quote from her: "The human race is challenged more than ever before to demonstrate our mastery, not over nature, but of ourselves." So, and Rachel Carson, there she is. So I'd like you to read this. Okay, I'm going to pause. You need to pause the video on each slide, read about Rachel, and then we've got some questions to go through. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to read that now. So, we'll read it together. Rachel Carson. From an early age, Rachel Carson could be found looking at birds, bugs, and fish. She was born in 1907 and grew up on a farm in Pennsylvania, USA. She got her master's in zoology at Johns Hopkins University, then worked at the Bureau of Fisheries, writing radio scripts about fish. When she wasn't at her job, she wrote about wildlife. Rachel's first book, Under the Sea Wind, got little attention, but her next book, The Sea Around Us, became a sensation. She won the National Book Award and quit her job to write The Edge of the Sea. In the 1950s, the US government and private industry started to overuse the pesticide DDT. We now know that DDT is highly toxic and can cause liver damage and seizures. DDT was being used everywhere, from insect repellent to crop spray, but it killed more than just pests. Rachel received a letter from an old friend saying that a plane spraying DDT had killed all the songbirds in her sanctuary. This inspired Rachel to write her greatest book, Silent Spring. Rachel's research found that DDT was poisoning livestock, killing fish, and fatally weakening birds' eggs. Chemical companies slandered her work, but Rachel would not be bullied. The truth about DDT became public. Rachel even spoke in front of the US Senate. She wrote Silent Spring while battling cancer, and she died 2 years after it was published. Her work led to the creation of the US Environmental Protection Agency and inspired the global environmental movement. Okay, so a really influential lady, and just a little bit more information. Okay, so DDT, which she was talking about here, is a chemical and it's used in a pesticide. Okay, so you can see the planes here spraying it over areas. It was widely used. Okay, and when it was advertised as being harmless and completely safe. But it turned out that actually it was having deadly effect on animals, humans, and plants. And lots of humans were affected by DDT. The DDT is still used in some countries. It's illegal in most, but it is still used in some countries. So Rachel put in a lot of work to try and inform people of this and the impact that it was having on other people. And as you can imagine, some of the companies who were supplying DDT were not too happy about that. So there's a set of questions for you to look at that, okay? So a retrieval question, then some work on vocabulary, okay? And then a longer answer at the end today, okay? So why do you think that companies producing DDT tried to stop Rachel from putting out her work? So what was it? So why did they not want her telling people the impact that this was having on wildlife, but also on humans as well? Okay, I look forward to seeing your answers posted through on Class Dojo later.